Today on the newscast, Israeli airstrikes reportedly shut down a major Syrian airport. Find out the possible reason behind the strikes next. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. Israeli officials call it the war between wars. Israel's relentless efforts over the past few years to push back Iran and its terror proxies in Syria. Now, as we've laid out for you here in the newscast many times, the Iranian regime is in Syria for two main reasons. Number one, to turn it into a forward base, a launching pad for attacks against Israel. Essentially, folks, what the Iranian regime wants to do in Syria is to duplicate what they've accomplished, sadly, in southern Lebanon in the form of Hezbollah. Remember, Hezbollah has some 150,000 rockets and missiles pointed at every inch of the Jewish state right now, and Iran would love to have a similar scenario in Syria, also at Israel's northern doorstep. Number two, and the two reasons go hand in hand, by the way, Iran wants to continue to use Syria as a transit point, a hub from which it can send weapons into the hands of Hezbollah in Lebanon. It's real simple. That's why Iran is so committed to having a long-term presence in Syria. The bad news is, for the Iranian regime, that is an absolute red line for Israel, and that is why we have seen hundreds of Israeli airstrikes in Syria against Iran and its terror proxies like Hezbollah over the past several years. And one target we've seen increasingly has been Syrian airports. Damascus and Aleppo in particular. You may remember last June 2022, Damascus International Airport was shut down for several days as a result of Israeli airstrikes. And then Aleppo in August 2022 was also shut down due to Israeli strikes. You might say, what a horrible thing. Israel is striking airports. Unfortunately, the Iranian regime, with the full knowledge of the Assad regime in Syria, is transiting weapons through those airports that will be used, God forbid, would be used to kill and maim Israelis. Obviously, Israel cannot allow that to happen, so Israel has been going right to the source, which brings us to last night. Overnight, reported Israeli airstrikes once again at Aleppo International Airport. The airport is now shut down. According to Syrian state media, they are none too happy. They're blaming Israel for war crimes, etc. But these Israeli strikes, we don't know what they were targeting in particular, folks, but essentially every time Israel carries out strikes in Syria, it is to target Iranian weapons shipments, weapons labs, drone factories. It runs the gamut. We've had reports ever since that horrific earthquake that struck Turkey and northwestern Syria, including Aleppo. Aleppo was hard hit, Syria's second largest city, back on February 6th. We've had persistent reports, and Israeli officials have warned about this, of Iranian cargo planes under the guise of earthquake aid transporting weapons into Syria instead. Israel warned Iran about a month ago in the wake of the earthquake, hey, don't do it. Don't take advantage of a humanitarian disaster in Turkey and Syria to send in weapons, again, under the cover of earthquake aid. It's just help, it's just humanitarian supplies, but something much more sinister is arriving on those Iranian cargo planes. Israel laid out the warning, and it's quite likely that Iran did not get the memo and did not accept the message, and hence we have the airstrikes hitting Aleppo International Airport last night. Now, there will certainly be, I'm sure, an international uproar over this, castigating Israel, but if you're in Israel's shoes, can you allow the Iranian regime to use these airports as transit points, again, for weapons that would be used to kill Israelis? I think that's a non-starter for Israel, and that is why Israel calls it, again, the war between wars, trying to weaken the Iranian regime at Israel's doorstep over the past several years, and Benjamin Netanyahu, the current prime minister, was the architect of this strategy. He kicked it all off during his second go-round as prime minister about 10 years ago, and we've seen those Israeli airstrikes ramp up even more, and you can expect that to increase in the days to come. Now, I talked about this with our good friend Amir Tsarfati of Behold Israel in a wide-ranging interview here on the newscast recently. If you missed it, the February 21st Watchman Newscast, just go to our archives here on the homepage. Under Newscast, you will find it, my wide-ranging interview with our friend Amir Tsarfati of Behold Israel. He talked about Iran's efforts, by the way, working hand in glove with the Assad regime, key point there, to take advantage of this disaster in Turkey and Syria in the wake of the earthquake. While you check out the full interview with Amir, be sure to subscribe to the Watchman News channel right here on YouTube and click the notification bells so you get alerts every time a new video is posted. And while you're at it, make it a twofer. Also subscribe to Behold Israel, at Behold Israel, and give our good friend Amir Tsarfati a follow as well. He is doing great work, as you will see right now in this clip. Take a look.
The very early hours of the morning when I heard about the earthquake, one of the first things that went through my mind is how in the world Iran is going to try and benefit from it. And sure enough, within less than 24 hours, I found out two things. Now Iran can have the license to have cargo planes landing in Syria when the international community would not look at it as something suspicious. Only Israel will. Now Iran has amnesty. It's like we can actually fly as many flights as we want to wherever we want, all under the guise of humanitarian help, and the world will understand. If Israel, God forbid, will attack one of those flights, we are those that are destroying the humanitarian relief aid to the Syrians. That's number one. The Saudi and the Emirati planes that unloaded very expensive, high-quality relief equipment and medications and food, all of this is now being taken by the leader, the commander of the 4th Division, Maher al-Assad, President Assad's brother, and he collaborates with the Iranian proxies. And he takes everything, and basically the clothes, the food, and the medications is not going to those that are affected, but to the Iranian proxies. So not only that they're not helping, they're actually stealing the other help that is coming from legitimate countries.
It's pure evil, Amir. And Israel, by the way, is aware of this. They've actually warned the Iranian regime not to take advantage of the situation, but Iran will continue to push there. As we wrap here, something I'm looking at in the next few days, actually today and tomorrow, in the immediate aftermath of these reported Israeli airstrikes, which have apparently shut down Aleppo Airport, is the international response. In particular, what does Russia say? Perhaps Russia won't say anything, but folks, there has been a pattern. The last few times Israel has struck inside Syria, Russia's foreign ministry, as we've documented here in the newscast, has condemned Israel. Remember, Russia is a close ally of not only the Assad regime in Syria, but the Iranian regime as well. Will Russia's foreign ministry condemn these Israeli strikes against Aleppo International Airport? Russia did condemn the Israeli strikes back in June 2022 that shut down Damascus International Airport. We'll see what the regime of Vladimir Putin has to say, if anything, this time. And if they do have something to say, we will report it for you tomorrow on the Watchman Newscast live stream. Be sure to join us here on the channel between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We will go for a solid hour live, and we will take your questions during our Q&A session, so be sure to send along some good ones. Join us tomorrow live right here on the channel. Until then, thanks so much for joining us today. God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.